Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nur Hidayah. I come from Jombang, and now I'm student in Kiai Haji Abdul Wahab Ansarullah University. In this time, I want to tell you about the impact of COVID-19 for the Indonesian economy. Introduction. COVID-19 is a global health problem including Indonesia. This was initiated from the information of the World Health Organization on 31 December 2019. There was a case of a cluster of pneumonia with a new etiology in Wuhan City, Hubei Province, China, and that expanded beyond China. On 30 January 2020, COVID-19 was set to become the public health emergency of international concern. On 11 March 2020, COVID-19 was designated as a pandemic. Indonesia first reported 2 positive cases on 2 March 2020, and a positive case continued to increase until 25 of April 2020. Indonesia already reported 80,211 positive cases, 689 cases died. 1,002 cases recovered from 50,563 people examined with the result of the examination is 42,352 negative. The increased case of COVID-19 has affected the world economy including Indonesia. The COVID-19 pandemic that has been established by the UN affect the transportation, tourism, state, health, and other sectors. The lockdown policy is taken by various countries to prevent further spread of COVID-19 so that economic activities are hindered and put pressure on the world's economic growth in the future, including Indonesia's economic growth. The government encourages the ministry and institution as well as the local government to accelerate spending primarily on the first quarter 2020 schedule. This was done to reduce the pressure on Indonesia's economic growth due to the pandemic COVID-19, as well as a decline in commodity prices. The World Bank is projecting Indonesia's economic growth this year will be depressed at 2.1%. This is due to the continued widespread distribution of COVID-19, both domestically and abroad. Bank Indonesia has also revised the projected economic growth of the RE to under 5%, or only about 2.5%. Pandemic COVID-19 will have a bad implication for the world's economy and Indonesia this year, as it occurs along with inflation and economic growth is one of the debatable issues and the most important macroeconomic discussion among macroeconomics. Policymakers and monetary authorities is in all countries. Inflation that occurred in this year in the projection will be increased to 3% because of the thick supply of wood and depreciation of currencies that are expected to the offers partly by the decline in the price of non-subsidized foods. The government also conducts the focusing budgeting and launched fiscal stimulus package Fall 1 and Fall 2, which are expected to support the real sector. In general, the current government's top priorities are support for the healthcare sector, strengthening social safety nets, and salvage business sectors. However, for Indonesia, COVID-19 already has significant implications for the tourist sector, lowering export performance, economic growth performance. The most impactful main sectors are the accommodation sector, transportation, retail, and manufacturing of the current transaction balance deficit. It is refuge from the workers' economy. It is based on the UN's Department of Economic and Social Affairs. The millions of workers are at risk of losing jobs when nearly 100 countries close the national frontier in terms of a global economic contraction of 0.9% or higher at the end of 2020. Therefore, the research aims to see the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic to the economy in Indonesia. The government issued circular letter on 18 March 2020. All indoor and outdoor activities in all sectors relating to tourism and the creative economy were delayed temporarily in order to reduce the spread of corona. This resulted in the tourist sector being paralyzed, so that unemployment is increasing because tourism is one of the components that provide jobs for the community around the tourist area and outside society. It is not only a temporary paralysis of the tourism sector, but employees of other types of companies have experienced the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Worker activity that is usually done outside the home, the termination of work risks because of the many jobs that are not possible to be done at home. As does the production activities that depend on the machine that is in the production place. The termination of this work is also done due to lack of purchase from consumers and debates and exports to certain countries so that it will inhibit export and reduce the company's revenue. Even the company can suffer losses. There is also another cause of dismissing the employees because of the scarcity of raw materials to be produced, imported from the outside country, such as from China, so that it will impede industrial activities. Companies that have to operate and an increase in the number of unemployment rates can inhibit and reduce gross domestic product and inhibit Indonesia's economic growth despite the policy being done. But there are still people who misuse this policy, such as learning activities and work at home in use for vacation outside the city. This policy can expand and accelerate the spread of coronavirus, both from being disseminated by visitors to local communities, as well as disseminated by local communities to visitors. Government roles. The Indonesian government has taken various measures through the social safety nets to help the people's economy affected by the COVID-19, either directly or indirectly. The step to break the COVID-19 deployment sandwich jacket to have an economic impact on the growth. This means that the government is seriously providing an economic stimulus package. The government realized the true non-medical impact of the plague caused by the SARS COVID-19 virus and can be seen from the many people who lost their jobs and livelihood because they had to be home. Saying the condition, the government has made various efforts to help the community economy through various policies. Policies that only rely on economic growth are policies that limit the circulation of assets among the rich people. Some of these policies include direct cost assistance, which use the village fund. The BLT is budgeted to use 22.47 trillion. That is appropriated from the 72 trillion estimated for the village fund. In addition, there is a Prakerja card with a monthly incentive that reaches. Not only that, the government has also launched an electricity tariff reduction of 50% for customer capacity of 40 watts over 3 months. Some of the steps to be taken are as follows: accelerating realization of shopping ministries or institutions, especially social assistance spending, as well as non-operational shopping. Tourism centers took various support programs, such as the acceleration of development of 5 super priority tourist destinations like Toba, Borobudur, Likupang, Labuan. The government will also set up fiscal and non-fiscal policies to stimulate the tourism sector, encourage and accelerating the labor-intensive spending on productive activities that absorb a lot of manpower, such as infrastructure shopping in the center and the region, are optimizing the role of the APBN as a flexible instrument in response to the economic situation by staying within the limits of safe and restrained, accelerating development of the people business credit. Conclusion: COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to being a global health problem, also has implications on the economy in Indonesia. Indonesia potentially grows negative 0.4%, which is the worst-case scenario. The economic sector most affected by COVID-19 is the household sector. Optimizing the potential in the country, the deadline of the 7-day reverse repo rate of global and domestic economic development conducted by Indonesia was assessed precisely so that inflation and stability remain in control. Thank you for your nice attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.